What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint, the only West Ham United post-match for show on the internet. We've just come back from Craven Cottage, where it was disappointingly Fulham 0, West Ham 0. Scott, take us through the start, please.
Well, Nick's going a bit funny. Well, one change really from the other night, wasn't it? It was Fredericks, Bowen coming in for Fredericks. The rest of the lineup was the same. So, to be fair, what we sort of spoke about on Friday Night Pint, and a change that was expected.
Was it needed?
Yeah, I think it was. I think Fredericks coming against Aston Villa the other night to do a job on Grealish. I think it was right for Bowen or Fornals to come back in today against the Fulham team that were there for the taking. Do you know what, mate? I'll be honest with you. I was disappointed with the performance today. You know, I was happy to come on here and praise Fulham for their hard work that they've done to get a good point out of us. But the whole show's obviously going to be spoke about that decision at the end. And I'm embarrassed for football. I'm embarrassed for referees. I'm embarrassed for, Mike Dean, for me, you know what he's about. He loves the attention. When he went over to that monitor, he's looking at it and he's thinking to himself, all right, all the eyes of the world are on me at the moment. On me, Mike Dean, me. This is a boring 0-0 that I've done here. It's not going to be on the headlines tomorrow. Let's put my name on the back of that paper tomorrow. And that is the most disgusting decision I've seen. Mitrovic, he's played a part in it. He can defend. He can stand up and try to defend Souček at the end, saying he didn't. But he shouldn't have gone down in the first place. He should change his name to fucking Mitrovic, because the way he's gone down, I've seen heavyweight boxers take a punch to the face and not go down like that. It's an absolute embarrassment, and I don't really want to sit here and talk about Mike Dean all night, but we're going to have to, because it's the main talking point, and it's honestly an awful decision. It's one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in football.
Well, there's no goal to talk about, so we might as well fling right forward to that.
Well, the thing is, you look at the incident. For me, when you watch it back, watch the replay back, Mike Dean's looking at the incident as it's happening.
I know.
He's looking right. He's only gone to the monitor because the referee at VAR sitting there going, I think you need to look at it.
Scott, the worst thing is Lee Mason has told him to look at that screen because he thinks that Souček is aggressive because he's got his fist clenched. Exactly. That he's meant to do it. What are they seeing? What the fuck are them two seeing? What are they looking at?
Tell me, at what point does Souček turn around, look where Mitrovic is, and then goes, bosh? He don't.
He's not even looking at him. Exactly. He looks away. Exactly. They're hustling, and he's gone like that to move his arm. Yeah. And because Mitrovic has gone down, why are they watching it in slow motion? Why?
Because slow motion makes things look worse.
Yeah, he didn't do it in slow motion, did he? Souček didn't go, whoa. He didn't do that, did he? If that's a red card, if that is a red card, then I am a 6'4" model with a six-pack, but I'm not. I'm 5'9" with a beer gut. You know what I mean? It's a fucking shocking decision, and I don't want to sit here and talk about it. I wanted to praise Fulham because I think Fulham worked hard tonight, and in fact, I think they probably deserved the win. Looking at the stats, 20 shots, they had 2 on target. They missed a lot of chances, but I thought, man for man, they were better than us. But we're talking about another referee, and it always seems to be Mike Dean. And why isn't he being looked into? Because he is corrupt, absolutely corrupt. He's a disgrace. It's not the first time something like this has happened. He always makes it the Mike Dean show. We might as well have had fucking Mr. Bean referee in that game today, because he'd have been 10 times better. It's shocking. And if that doesn't get overturned, it's the fucking worst. And I'm not saying just because it's one of our players. If that had been the opposite way round, then that would have been Mitrovic, I would have said exactly the same thing. If Souček would have gone down like that, I'll be slagging Souček off for doing it.
See, I think Mitrovic, right? Mitrovic has gone down, yeah. Then Mitrovic goes up to Mike Dean and turns around and says, "Don't bother looking at it. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't intent." I think Mitrovic is thinking he's going to go and look at that, and he's going to fucking book me for that. That's what I think he's thinking behind it is, because nobody in their right mind is going to look at that and think that's a red card. He's trying to shuffle his arm away. And I don't think it's just Mike Dean. I think it's a corruption from the league. I was shouting it at the watch along. We've got Manchester United next in the FA Cup. They don't want West Ham to be 5th in the league. They don't want West Ham going through in the FA Cup. And it's no sort of coincidence that the last time we see these sort of decisions was another time when we was fighting that top 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep on saying it and all of that sort of thing. Mike Dean is the biggest joke in football. He is, and that other twat, Lee Mason, is the second biggest joke, because you look at that decision there. He watched it 20 times at least. Yeah, he took 3 minutes to watch it. What are you looking at? We watched it.
You know where it is, mate? All eyes are on him. He knew the cameras were on him. He knew the world was watching him. It's the Mike Dean show. It's always the Mike Dean show. The geezer is an embarrassment. You know, there's not anyone here who can defend him. You know, but do you know what? Because it's Mike Dean, it probably won't get overturned. It probably won't, because they don't like going against him.
This is what I was going to say. They've looked at it. Lee Mason's looked at it. He's looked at it 20 times. You go to appeal on Monday. Are they going to turn around and go, actually, yeah, he got that wrong. He watched it 20 times. He meant to be their top referee.
But that's the thing, right? That's the problem for me. If you're watching it that many times, you can't be decisive in your decision because it's not clear. Exactly. You know, and that's it. And straight away he has to go, well, I can see why you're saying, like, to obviously Mason, he's saying, I can see why you wanted me to look at it, but I don't think there's no intent. And that's the thing. There's no intent, so it can't be violent conduct.
Why would
Souček to be violent conduct?
Why would Souček do that when we've got a free kick in the last seconds of the game?
Exactly.
He's one of our most important players. Why would he risk it? He's obviously, Mitrovic is grabbing him, which we obviously didn't see on camera, but we know what was happening. He's obviously pushed him away. He's not even looking. He's looking that way, and he's not even touched him, and he's gone down like that. Mitrovic, he should get the
thing is as well. There was what, 2 free bookings in that entire game. And there was no malicious fouls, no malicious tackles, no argy-bargy, nothing. It was a crap game, but it was a fair game. You know, the free bookings were all bookings because they were just for, you know, fouls, silly little fouls. There was no malice in the game where you can say that at the building.
What?
One's froze up. But the thing is, like, you know, and the worst thing is as well is that David Moyes has come out after the game and said he's embarrassed for Mike Dean. He's probably going to get a touchline ban now for it, you know, for saying that.
Yeah, he said, "What's the point of appealing?" Because, like Nicky said, what is? They're not going to go against him. They're not. And
they have to appeal it. They have to appeal it. Of course they do. It's ridiculous. They have to appeal it. We need him. If Souček will miss. He'll miss Man United in the cup, Sheffield United, and then I think it's the Tottenham game. If I'm right saying that, that's 3 massive games coming up. We lose someone like Thomas Souček, it's massive for nothing. If Souček would have deserved the red card, we hold your hands up.
But if the FA don't overturn that decision, I would consider taking them to court. Honestly, I would, because it's unexplainable. It's unexplainable, and there needs to be I said this earlier in the week with a quote. I know it was a fake quote, but I'm telling you now, there needs to be criminal investigations over this shit, because I'm 99.9% certain that money's changing hands at points to keep the top 6 as top 6, and I think Mike Dean's a big part of that. To be honest, he does all the top games. Or games that involve consequences for the top teams. He does them all. Why is he doing them all? He got one absolutely wrong last week at Southampton that got rescinded.
Yep.
Why is he refereeing this week? If that would have been a lower referee, if that would have been another referee, if the rule was, I always thought this was the rule, that if you got a decision that wrong and they had to overturn it for you, you sat out for a week or 2. Why is he refereeing a West Ham Fulham game?
The thing is that sometimes, in a way, without VAR, you can sometimes understand how sending offs are overturned, because the referee only sees it that one time. You know, he didn't have the opportunity of replays and things like that. Now with VAR, they shouldn't be getting it wrong. You know, they should be getting it bang on point. And I would like to see what he sent him off for. what he actually writes in his report for the send-off. If he writes violent conduct, then that's got to be overturned because that's
if we didn't have VAR, mate, he wouldn't have got sent off because Mike Dean was looking right at him. He didn't even pull it up himself, and you know, and that's the embarrassing thing. And do you know what? I think when you look at his reaction when he actually gives Souček the red card, I think deep down he knows it weren't a red, but he felt he had to give a red.
Yeah,
because you see him say, it looked like he was saying to him, "Look, sorry, you know what I mean? I've got to give you a red." What? Just get some bollocks about you and just say no. In fact, book Mitrovic for going down like that.
That's
Mitrovic for me is embarrassing as well.
That's why I think Mitrovic was, to be honest, that's why I think Mitrovic was telling him not to go and watch it.
Yeah,
because
he's panicking.
He's panicking because he knows it's soft. He knows he's dived and he's thinking, shit. I don't know whether he was on a yellow. I don't think he was, but yeah.
But if Mitrovic has said to the ref, he hasn't touched me, then why is he looking at it? He should say, all right, then. He hasn't hurt you. Get on with the game.
This is the thing, right? Do you know, there was a guy, I think he's going to talk to us after this. He's a football referee, and he wanted to tell me why I was wrong, that it was a red card. By the letter of the law, it's a red card. By the letter of the law, is not common sense. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And I'll have a discussion with this guy afterwards.
Well, obviously, referee union, innit? They all stick together.
Yeah. But whatever, you know. By letter of law, I can go to a road in Wales and kill a man with a crossbow from 12 paces. But that mean I could do it. Don't mean it's common sense won't override that.
Yeah,
and that is the truth. That is a fucking law that was never been overturned. It's written in British law. You know, it's never been dispunged. But it doesn't mean that I can actually go to. You know, it doesn't mean that they if I kill you from 12 paces, I go, well, you know, that is the law. You have to use common fucking sense. You have to use common sense. It's ridiculous. Like, and the thing is, and I think the most embarrassing thing for both the league, and I think the most embarrassing thing for Mike Dean himself, is he didn't even have to use common sense because the striker was telling him it's nothing. You know, exactly. Just get on with it. It's nothing. Yeah. You don't even have to use your common sense. Like, there's no letter of the law there. You know, because it should be down to common sense.
Let's be honest, right? Mitrovic has gone down the way he's gone down. Mitrovic has gone down the way he's gone down to get him sent off. It's the last minute of the game. We've got a free kick in an area that we can be dangerous from. You know, we've got Souček, we've got Dawson or Bonner, Yarmolenko, all these players, Declan Rice as well, all good in the air. It's a dangerous attack. He's seen that opportunity to either get a foul for himself or get one of our biggest aerial threat sent off, and it worked. And that's what's happened. You know, that we will never know now. That cross that Lingard put in from that free kick, Souček may have been on the end of that, putting that in the back of the net. We win that game, you know, undeservedly, but we'll never know now. So it's affected the outcome of the game, and it's again play acting, which is one of the worst things in football.
I mean,
too much money involved for the likes of Man United and people like that, Liverpool and all that, to make that top four, to make that FA Cup semi-finals, finals. Too much money involved. I don't trust it. When there's money involved, don't trust it. Don't trust it because there's always corruption.
Yeah. I mean, look, there was obviously a game that went on as well. I mean, the big chance for us, two headers, Souček, you know, first half, should have scored, and then obviously Soufal hit the crossbar in the second half. Fulham had their chances. You know, it was a frustrating game, and I think a lot of players. Scott froze, or is he just really concentrating?
I think he's concentrating.
He's gone. I just think that a lot of players sort of let us down a bit today. I think a few players let us down. Do you know what? Fulham worked hard, and to a man, I mean, Ben Rama today, Bowen, Lingard, every time they got the ball, Fulham doubled up on them. They didn't allow us to get on that ball and make things happen. And that was down to hard work. Scott Parker drilled that into him before the game. You know, Antonio was isolated. He had nothing today. We defended well. You know, as I said, they had 20 shots, 2 on target. I mean, Fabianski didn't really have much to do today. You know, it wasn't the greatest game, but it's a good point away from home against a team that are fighting for their lives. You know, Fulham need the points more than us. All right, we had a chance to go into the top 4 tonight, but I don't think. I mean, some people said we bottled it. I don't think we bottled it. I just think that, you know, Fulham worked hard and they frustrated West Ham, and it's a good point. It's a good point. I'll take the point.
Listen, Fulham are no mugs, mate. You know, they're one of the biggest improvements. They've had a few results that haven't quite gone their way, but they're starting to turn the corner a little bit. I think they actually might get out of it because they're a well-drilled side. Let me make this totally clear. I tell you, head and shoulders above everyone today was Ruben Loftus-Cheek was absolutely fantastic. He was absolutely outstanding. He was everywhere. He drove at our midfield. He drove at our defence. He made things happen. The only problem with Fulham is that they haven't got anyone to put a chance away. If they could put a chance away, we'd have been 5-0 down. I've got no doubt about it. They created so many chances. They ran us ragged today. But listen, right, I'm not going to sit here and you know, all of a sudden have a meltdown over it, because it is what it is. You play the game of football. You have bad games. What I can moan about and what I will berate, though, mate, is saying that we've all been sitting here, you know, fucking talking about for 2 months now, and that's the lack of a centre forward. Antonio's not going to. I think that's a month for Antonio. He was pinching his hamstring.
I mean, I've seen reports after the game that it weren't as bad. I just think with Antonio today, I think he was a bit tired. You know, I think he was frustrated. He looked over at the bench and he signalled. He was like that. He walked off the pitch fine. I just think he was frustrated, and I just think he wasn't up for today's game, if I'm honest. He wasn't getting the service. I think we took Bowen off and Ben Rama a bit too early. You know, I could see why he took him off and brought on Noble and Yarmolenko. I can see why he done that, but I just think it was a bit too early, because Bowen and Ben Rama, Lingard, they was all frustrated today. You know, at Villa on Wednesday night, or to whenever it was, it's a bigger pitch, you know, better playing service. They had a lot more space. At Fulham, it's tight, it's compact. You know, Fulham are going to get in your faces. So I can see why he did bring Noble and Yarmolenko on. The frustrating thing for me is that you look at that bench, and I thought maybe he could have brought Fornals on. Maybe he could have brought Lanzini on to try to do something different. But I think when you look at the game overall, it's not a bad point. It's not a bad point. As you said, Liverpool went now, you know, and they only got a point. But Fulham are a good team. Whether they get out of it, I don't know. I think they draw too much. They don't score enough goals. I mean, if Scott Parker today could have started with a new boy and Mitrovic up front, you know, he could have really gone for it today. But they matched us like for like. They frustrated us. We sort of frustrated them as well. But Lookman, for me, you know, he had a great game. He got man of the match. I thought, yeah, rightly deserved. I think we've got 4 points off of Fulham this season, and we probably didn't deserve 4 points. 2 points would have been fair enough.
When you look at Antonio, I don't think he's serious. You know, it didn't seem as serious. I think it's more how heavy the pitch was, and I do think that he can't play 2 games in a week now. Not at the moment.
He's got.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not the fact that, you know, we're relying on him so much, and the amount of work and effort that we put in against Villa. Tonight,
to be fair, do you know what? I'm getting to the point now. Well, I don't give a shit whose decision it was, whether it's Moyes' or it's the Board's. It's a farcical decision.
Yeah, of course
he's an injury-prone player who suffers with muscle fatigue because he's so big. Who's suffered with hamstring injuries in the past, big ones as well, like you know, like season-ending injuries and all of that sort of stuff. And we didn't bring a centre forward. I think it's an absolute farce. I think it's a joke.
One thing that I was a bit baffed by is when I look at that bench and you've got Johnson, Balbuena, and Diop on the bench. One of them defenders should be dropped, and Odebeku should be sitting on that bench ready to come on. I mean, he's dropped Odebeku from the squad and brought in Mark Noble. You know, drop one of the defenders. You know, you can only make 3 subs during the game, and how rare is it that 3 defenders go down in the game?
Well, let's be honest as well. You know, you had 4 defenders because you got Fredericks as well. So we've got 4.
And not only that, mate. If it did come to it, Declan Rice could drop into centre back. Anything drastic happened during the game.
And that's the thing, it's using the versatility of some of the players we got to make our bench look a bit stronger. I don't understand that. I get the substitutions because we were getting overrun in midfield. Noble coming on to try and get a bit more stability in the centre mid, I understand. But, taking Bowen and Ben Rama off, I would have took one off and then took the other one off a little further down the line just to try and, maybe take Ben Rama off and bring Noble on to try and solidify it a bit more, and then still use Bowen's pace down that side. And then if it isn't working after 10 minutes, then bring Yarmolenko on. Making the two, it was a bold move, but it didn't work. And it's just worrying that when you see that playing surface, we know the injuries that Antonio has, heavy pitches, it ain't going to work for him. And like you said, with a pitch being so small, we didn't try and play football. Yeah. We just were gunting it long from the kickoff, and I don't get why we started doing that. From kickoff against Villa, we oofed it long. Today we were hitting it long, and they're not even hitting it long to try and find Antonio. We were just hitting it long and finding nobody, and the ball was just coming back. We didn't see us trying to play football. When we did get the ball on the floor and try and moved it about, we had created a chance or two, but we done it in spells. I don't know whether we were tired because we put too much effort in against Villa, or it was just an off day. But I'm with you. The point, it ain't a bad point. We haven't played well against Fulham for the last 4 times we played them, or 3 times we played them.
As I said, mate, look, I respect the point. It's a tough game today. Look at it in the overall, we're still sitting 5th. We'd have all liked to have been sitting here talking about a great victory, sitting 4th in the table, but it hasn't been. We've had a bad day at the office, but we've still got a point. We move on. We've got Man United in the Cup on Tuesday, and then we've got Sheffield United next week in the league. Mm-hmm. So, look, things ain't that bad. We're sitting here. What we're more upset with and pissed off is the decision at the end, because we might lose one of our best players now for the next 3 games for a ridiculous decision. So, look, it is what it is.
That's right. We're in 5th place. How the fuck? I can't fucking moan. You know what I mean? Like, I've said that over and over again. You know what I mean? And I even said, you have these days. I'm not moaning about the game. I'm not even moaning about the game plan. Although there are bits and pieces that can be picked out of it. It happens. The best get it wrong at times. You know what I mean? It happens. What I'm moaning about is Mike Dean being a corrupt prick and the club not having the foresight or taking the piss to the point where they ain't got a striker in. Because that we're 5th at the minute. Yeah, we're 5th tonight. But if we ain't got a striker for the next month or 2, that could go very wrong. Which I think it may not. It may not. Someone might step up to the plate and go up front. Whatever. Yarmolenko could end up being the second coming of Zinchenko. But from what I'm looking at the moment, if he's missing for any amount of time, bear in mind we've got an FA Cup game on Tuesday, and bear in mind the guy's got such injury problems that he struggles to play twice in a week. You've got to manage his injuries. He's brilliant. He's so brilliant when you use him right, and he's fresh and he's fantastic. He's probably the best we've got. But what I'm saying is he can't be like that because of his injury record, because of his age now. He can't be like that every couple of days. And you've got to, every team in Man City, Liverpool and all that, they all rotate their squads. Because you just can't keep on fucking pounding the same players over and over.
Yeah, maybe today, looking at it, maybe Moyes could have thought to him, right, FA Cup on Tuesday is a massive game. Put Antonio on the bench today. Maybe give Yarmolenko a start up top, or Bowen up top, or the youngster. But he didn't. He's gone for it today. He wanted the 3 points. Look, as I said, it's frustrating. It's frustrating, and we're sitting here. We're frustrated because of the decision at the end. We're not frustrated. Yeah, of course, we're frustrated with the performance, because we know we can do a lot better. We see that on the other night at Aston Villa. But it is what it is. We've had 2 away games in a week. We've got 4 points, which is massive. Is this stage of the season is massive to pick up these points. And we're still unbeaten. So let's just, look, a win against Sheffield United and it all goes, we'll all be playing the Champions League music in the background again. You know,
the thing was, after that defeat to Liverpool, I turned around and said 4 points from the next 2 games. I'll take it. To be honest, I was expecting the draw against Villa and the win against Fulham, but we got it the other way around. So it's not the end of the world. We're still in a good position. It's just the nature of the performance that we saw tonight and what happened at the end of the game. But one thing we didn't cross on, we were saying in the previous, I think the Liverpool game. We got a free kick in a dangerous area and, a corner, first corner after 35 minutes against Liverpool. We don't put it in the box. Again today, within a minute or 2 minutes, we get a dangerous free kick about 25, 30 yards from goal. We've scored more goals than anyone else from set pieces, and Creswell has a shot from that distance.
Yeah, but do you know what? It's early on. He tried to catch the keeper off guard. I mean, Creswell for me today had a really good game. Some of the balls he put through and the crosses he put into the box.
But I'm sorry, you shouldn't. If he had banged in a free kick the other week and from a distance and he's buzzing on confidence, I'll get shooting. But we're scoring goals from set pieces. We're scoring goals from crosses. This is what our season's been. You put that ball into the box.
Yeah, but I think you're being a little bit harsh on him there, Scott. It was early in the game, 2 or 3 minutes in.
But that's the best time to put it in, mate.
But he might have been thinking, the goalkeeper's thinking he's going to put that in there for one of them, but he was trying to catch him. You could see what he was trying to do.
Oh, yeah, I see what he was trying to do. I just don't think it was the right decision. He should have put the ball into the box.
The thing is, what David Moyes might want to look at now is that maybe bringing someone in on a free who's out of contract. There's a few strikers out there, maybe just bringing someone in now, just on a pay-as-you-play contract or a 6-month deal to the end of the season. They need to get someone in, look, I know you've got Diego Costa out there, you've got Daniel Sturridge out there, just bring someone in just to have on that bench.
Is it written in the stars for Odebeku to come on against Man United and score the winner?
I hope he does. I really hope he does. Because we all love seeing a youngster come through. We all love seeing a youngster giving his chance, and maybe this is his time now. He looks like, and you know what? We got him from Man United, so it's written in the stars that he might play on Tuesday night and score the winner at Old Trafford. You never know. But
the thing is, we don't. Antonio may have felt his hamstring getting tight, and that's why he's called for a sub. It may not have gone. Do you know what I mean? Because he walked off the pitch okay. He may have felt it tighten up and thinking, if I open up here, it's going to go, and that's why he's asked to sub himself. You know yourselves, we've all played football. You know when a muscle don't feel right, when you're going to go in at full speed and you feel it go. Or you feel a little twinge and you think, oh, hang on a minute, I better not open up as much. Maybe that's what he's felt.
I don't know about that.
But you know what I mean? That's what we've got to hope for. It's not as bad as what it is, but I really can't see him playing against United. And let's be honest, Sheffield United at the moment, they're turning things around. That's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, look, every game's tough in the Premier League, especially when you're playing teams scrapping for their life down at the bottom. But yeah, look, we move on. It's disappointing. We spoke about Mike Dean. That decision's, it's going to frustrate me because you're going to see it all night on Sky Sports News. You're going to see it on Match of the Day, and it's just going to piss you off even more. Man United have just gone 3-2 up, so that's good for us. Everton losing. So, do you know what? It's a frustrating game today, but look, it's a great point. We're still sitting 5th in the table. No one would have thought that at the beginning of the season. We're 1 point from safety. We're 1 point behind Liverpool. Technically, Liverpool have only reached 40 points, so they're just about safe. So,
that's it, mate.
But no, look, it's
positive.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's positive.
Yeah, you are.
We move on. United Tuesday, massive game. It's could be another one of them where we need to take our chances. We can't sit there and say we ain't got a chance because Antonio's not playing, because last time we should have been 5-0 up at half time and he weren't playing. So
if Antonio's not playing, mate, it's like attacking a steak with no teeth.
But that's the thing, Nick. As I said, The league game, all right, we lost 3-1, but we had 5 clear-cut chances to put the ball in the back of the net, and he weren't playing. They've got no, by the looks of it, Pogba's going to be out now. He's gone off injured in the game tonight. So, you know.
How many games has Antonio gone now without scoring? He's only scored 1 since he's come back, isn't he? And that was against, was it Burnley? You know, he had the frustrating game at Palace.
Yep.
You know, I think it's what he brings, though, Ryan. It's what he brings to the table.
Yeah, listen, I know what he brings. He brings pace and he bullies defenders and that. But today, he just had an off game today. I honestly do. You know, he was frustrated from early on in the game. You know, it wasn't his game tonight because he's, you know, Fulham were playing deep as well, so he's not going to get that chance to have a one-on-one race with their back four. This was the first time this season, I think, that Fulham has slipped into a back four. They usually play 3 at the back, didn't they? So they knew they was going to frustrate. We've got one up there against 4. You know, Lingard, Bowen, and who am I missing? Ben Rama, sorry. You know, them 3 should be getting on that ball, looking for the quick 1-2s like they did at Villa, but they couldn't do it tonight. Fulham frustrated us. And you know what? If Fulham would have won 1-0 tonight and got all 3 points, I probably would be sitting here saying they deserved it. So I've got no complaints about a point. Yeah. Respect the point.
They definitely did deserve it.
And let's be honest, when they played us at the London Stadium, it was exactly the same. They didn't deserve to lose that one.
Yeah, I agree.
But,
yeah.
On Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, well, listen, we could get a good result on Tuesday night and move into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup and we'll all be buzzing again. It's football. You know, I just don't like the fact that Mike Dean is going to get the headlines tomorrow, which he wants. You know, it's all about me, Mike Dean show. You know, I'm surprised he ain't got his own reality TV show. Honestly, the geezer is so... Honestly, he thinks he's the absolute...
He should. Do you know what? I hope he does get his own reality TV show because he might leave football and fuck off and leave it to the people that actually want to do it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's... it's frustrating. Frustrating, mate.
But, yeah. I don't know. One of them nights, isn't it? Frustrating night, and yeah.
Obviously, if that red card, I want to see that red card Monday morning, mate. I want to see that red card. Yeah, sorry, we made a mistake there. I just don't. I can't see it.
They should be appealing it tomorrow, mate. You know, and I'll be very disappointed in the club if they don't appeal it. They have to. Of course, look, every pundit has come out and said, not one pundit after that game has turned around and said, yeah, I can see where Mike Dean's right there. None of them. Jamie Redknapp, I thought he was going to run down there and chin him. You know, Bobby Zamora. You know, on TalkSport I was listening to after. I've been reading, before we come on here, I was reading all the, you know, websites and that. Everyone's like thinking, how is that a red card? Do you know what? You can tell by Soucek's face that he never meant that. You can tell.
You know when someone means it. And I'll be honest, if the club don't appeal it, it shows the lack of
someone
ambition.
in the comments saying Scotty P said it was a sending. Who the fuck is Scotty P?
Scotty Parker. No, what Scott Parker said in his interview was, he said for him it's not a sending off, but in today's game he can see why it's been a sending off. Because the game, let's be honest, football's gone soft. Football's soft. You can't tackle anymore. You can't do anything. People forget football's a contact sport.
Scott, the game we grew up loving is gone. It went a long time ago, mate. We'll never get that football back. You know,
you get that football back down on the park on a Sunday morning.
You could always make a defence for referees, because one of the defences for referees always is you get to see it about 10 times. They only get to see it once in full range motion. That's why, you know, about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they stopped referees from actually coming out and explaining the decisions because they couldn't win. You know, they wasn't, as I say, they always see it in real time at 100 miles per hour or whatever it is running at, you know, and it wasn't fair for them to go out and have to face the music. They've got no excuses now. The blanket, you know, as I said, VAR is supposed to be making this game better. For me, VAR is just exposing how corrupt the league is. And
he should be made. He should have been made to come out after the game and explain why he's given a red card. Why should he be allowed to just walk into his changing room, get changed, and go home? He should be allowed. He should be made.
And I've come to be honest with you, right?
Made to come on, explain why he's made that decision.
I think, but that's what I'm saying. The rule was made years ago because they didn't want referees facing the music. Now that they've got that little blanket, they should have to come out and explain it. And to be fair, right, the more they don't make him come out and explain the reasons why they do it, the more people like Mike Dean will do it because he knows there's no consequences for me. I can just do what I want. I'll have a look at it 10 times. It might not be a red card. I want to get my name in the paper tomorrow. Everyone's going to be talking about me. He's one of them people that got bullied at work or and at school. That just wants people to notice him. Look at me. I'm still a referee. Look at me. He's just one of them people. And why he doesn't have to explain himself, why he's not allowed to talk to them cameras, he can just walk around doing what he wants. Like what I want to see is I want to see Jamie Redknapp and Bobby Zamora go to that pitch side, catch him on the side of the pitch and say to him, "This is a fucking joke, Mike Dean. Like, explain yourself." And I'm a person that's played the game. I know the rules of the game, And as I said before, like it's definite. It's like this is my opinion. This is not opinion of the channel, but this is my personal opinion. It's definite corruption because he's refereeing today. He fucked one up last week. With VAR involved. If you fuck it up with VAR involved, an offside, a fucking, a goal, whatever, a red card, you should be going to learn your trade again because he obviously doesn't know what he's doing. Him and Lee Mason, to be quite honest with you. Lee Mason for suggesting that he looks at it anyway. He looked at it directly. He was looking at the incident as it happened. It happened, and he never said, how can you look at it 10 times again in slow motion and then decide, yeah, it's a red card? As I said, because he hasn't got to face that wrath. He hasn't got to face that music and all of that. The FA should be ashamed of themselves. He shouldn't have even been refereeing today.
Someone said it in the comments, right? I know it's a different sport, but you look at rugby. The referees are mic'd up, and the referees in rugby explain the decisions that they've made and why they've made it.
Yeah, but the thing is, Scott, you watch rugby, mate. Them boys get stamped on, and they get up and laugh it off. Mitrovic gets a tiggle on the nose, and he goes down like he's been shot. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. And the thing is, players rolling around like that. You've got young kids that dream to be football players, and you see young kids now doing that on Sunday football because they see their heroes doing it. They should be fucking ashamed of themselves. Mitrovic is just as bad as Mike Dean.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I totally agree with it. And as I said, as I said,
I'll be saying that if that was Souček that acted like Mitrovic, I'll be saying exactly the same thing. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's fucking cheating.
Yeah, but it's the unfortunate thingy of modern day football. But now you can't
VAR. He should have looked at that maximum 3 times. Why should he look at it over 20 times and still not? He didn't know what he was. He didn't know. And you see him when he walked over. He took his red card out, give it the old all that bollocks. Walks over. It's a red card, and you can see him like he was like sort of. He didn't want to give the red card, but he felt he had to give the red card. Like fuck off, have some bollocks about you and say no. Book Mitrovic. Let us carry on. And, maybe have a chance of Souček getting the winner. But now Souček's out. Could be out for 3 games. That could be a massive, like, really disturb our season because he's a big player for us.
Of course he is.
I'm hoping it ain't going to happen, but I'm hoping the FA sees sense, the Premier League sees sense, whoever makes the fucking decision.
They should also look at VAR and bring in a time limit. Because as I said, if you can't make a clear decision after watching a replay twice, 3 times max, then it's not a clear mistake that's been made by the referee. And that is what VAR is there for, a clear and obvious mistake. There weren't no clear and obvious mistake there because he wouldn't have had to watch it the amount of times he watched it, and they wouldn't have had to watch it the amount of times Lee Mason, it's a joke.
Yeah, it's but anyway, let's respect the point. We're still 5th. We've got the FA Cup on Tuesday. Come on, you ones. Don't worry, Nick. Just plug some merchandise on the quick. Go on. Come on, you Ions.
Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match pint. You can check out all of our fan cams that have just gone up. You can check out me in the morning if you're a patron, morning after the game before. You can join our Patreon if you want. Link is in the description down below. You can also buy this new T-shirt, that new T-shirt that Ryan's modelling there. You can see it all in my background there. Look, got loads of father T-shirts there.
I was going to say, you look like you're sitting in the stock room.
I thought I'd give it a little bit of decoration because it's not very West Hammy. Look, I've put all the shirts up. Yeah, done a good job today, I thought.
I thought if you had a pair of pants hanging on there, a pair of shitty pants or something.
I'll put a pair on there next week, no problem. Yeah, but you can go and check that out in the link in the description down below. One thing left to say, boys. Come on,
your irons.